That was a great meal. I don't think I could eat another bite. After how much we ate yesterday, I'm surprised we're still able to pack away this much food. Well, you're all growing boys and girls, so eat up. Writing takes a lot of energy, and I'd say eating like this is normal after a day out on the plains. Would anyone like more? I should probably refrain. Is there any chicken left? We can wrap it in bamboo and take it with us. Who knows, we might need something to gnaw on while we're out there today. Okay. Let me help too. I'll pour out the leftover tea into some containers for you. Ah, thanks. You really are too kind. You're our guests. What kind of hosts would we be if we didn't treat you as such? Anyway, here's the grand list of the tasks you'll be tending to today. Just a monster quest. I figured it couldn't hurt to give you fewer than yesterday. Feel free to take advantage of that extra time to do whatever strikes your fancy. Maybe go off in the beaten path a bit. Understood. Thank you again for everything. Do you want to spend some more time with your grandfather today, Elisa? It sounds like you weren't able to spend much time with him yesterday. Gwen stayed in the Elder's home yesterday, right? I imagine he ought to be up and about soon. We'd have no objections to completing this morning's task without you if you want to spend more time with him. But... Lakin, are you there? Elder? Yes, I'm here. Oh, good morning. Grandfather? Norton? Morning, everyone. Sorry to intrude. Judging by the looks on your faces, seems not all is well. I'm afraid you're right. We've received word from Zender Gate just a short while ago. They say that the Imperial Army's Watchtower has been attacked. What? It sounds like it all happened in the middle of the night. And that's not the last of it either. The Republican Army's base has been attacked too. This isn't going to be pretty. Airborne Armed Division being sent out first as always, I see. I suppose it's only a matter of time before they give the order to the armored regiments, too. Lieutenant General, we confirm the deaths of 2 of the guards. A further 3 have sustained serious injuries, but we've been able to stabilize their condition. I see. Have the medics see to them the second they arrive. Yes, sir. Contact Zender Gate. Prepare the 3rd Armored Division for deployment. I want all armored vehicles ready to move before I return. Hey, you sure you don't need us to help? I appreciate your willingness, but we'll be fine. We're used to the procedures for moving the settlement in case of an emergency. The same goes for you, Gaius. I assume you'll be heading to Zender Gate to learn more about the current situation from Lieutenant General Vander. Not as a citizen of Nord, but as a student of Thor's military academy. I will. Will you be staying here, Grandfather? I will. I can use the truck after all. And since I was here anyway, I might as well do what I can to help get the settlement ready to move. Alright, please take care of yourself. I'm sorry, Elder Lakin. I feel terrible I can't help you when you need it most. You have your own job to do. There's no need to worry about us. May the blessing of the winds and the goddess be with you all. Take care. We will. We must make for Zender Gate at once. Indeed, we need to find out as much as we can about what happened. Alright, we got an accompanying party member. The northern reaches are currently inaccessible, so if we had anything to do, well, we can't do it now. Hey, what's up, my Dokus? Jason, welcoming you back to more The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. Last time, we found Elisa's grandfather, took him back to the settlement, and pretty much had a party. And we also learned some nice things about both Elisa and Reen in a bit of a heart-to-heart moment. But in the middle of the night, it appears that the Watchtower has been attacked. And so this time, we're going to be heading out in order to see what we can do about it. I'm really sorry to put you guys up to this. You already helped me out more than enough yesterday. No problem, don't sweat it. This would be kind of breaking news must be the kind of breaking news every press photographer dreams of being on the scene for. Still, it bothers me. How is it possible that both the Imperial and Republican bases were attacked at the same time? Do you think one attacked first and the other swiftly retaliated? No time to think about that right now. We need to hurry. We need to get to Zender Gate as fast as we can. Right. Whoa, don't ride too roughly. Alright, we gotta rush to Zender Gate. Thankfully, we have nothing else to do in this area, so we can literally just rush our way there.
That's one of the Imperial Army's airships.
This situation is looking worse by the minute. We need to hurry.
Those are armored cars from the Imperial Army.
Damn, this isn't looking good.
Looks like the Imperial Army's 3rd Armored Division. It appears they're preparing for deployment. Thanks, everyone. Let me go see if I can get permission to start taking photographs. I wonder where Lieutenant General Vander could be. We need to find him so he can tell us what's going on here. I suspected you might show up. Lieutenant General, do you have some business to attend to elsewhere, sir? I thought I'd conduct another sweep of the area as a precaution, but never mind that now. You came at the perfect time. A freight train bound for Ruhr departs 30 minutes from now. I want you all on board that train. Finish up your field study as quickly as you can and return to the academy.
What? But sir...
While things ultimately depend on the actions of the Republican Army, the bottom line is that we may be mere hours away from armed conflict with the Calvary Republic. I've already informed everyone in the settlement. Did they not relay the message to you? Be that as it may. We can't just turn tail and pretend none of this is happening. Lieutenant General, have you established which side attacked first?
Gaius, that's the central question here.
That it's still under investigation. You have my assurance that the Imperial Army did not attack. We did not make the first move, nor have we retaliated. However, our army's watchtower was destroyed and several guards lost their lives. As the officer in charge of Zender Gate, I have a duty to act.
So there really were fatalities?
Let's presume for the sake of argument that the damage sustained by the Republican Army's base was in fact deliberate sabotage by their own forces. How bad was the damage? Several of their facilities suffered major structural damage. Their losses appeared to be at a minimum equal to ours. Honestly, I'd estimate them to be far greater.
But if they suffered even more damage than we did, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm afraid we've long since passed the point where leisurely discussing our possibilities was an option. I will do all I can to avoid full-scale war, but we're prepared for the possibility of armed conflict. And I suspect they are as well.
And that just seems so wrong.
If that's your opinion, Lieutenant General, Will you at least allow me the chance to investigate what happened on my own?
Gaius, investigate on your own?
As I'm sure you're aware, I know the Highlands like the back of my hand, and when someone attempts to threaten the peace of my homeland, I won't rest until I've unearthed the truth behind what's happening. You're serious? We'll do everything we can to help you.
I think this falls within the scope of our field study too.
No, wait. This is the people of Nord's problem. There's no reason for you all to stay here and risk getting caught in the crossfire.
As a classmate and friend is staying behind, isn't that enough reason enough?
I'm a son of the House of Bareahard. I would never disgrace the honor of my family name by fleeing in the face of danger.
Besides, it seems like your people have done a lot for my grandfather.
Gaius, do you remember what you said to us back at Heimdall Station? The most important thing is that we all come back safe and sound. Everything else is secondary. It appears you've lost this one, Gaius. Lieutenant General, It's currently 10:05. I will permit you until 10 or 12:30 to conduct your investigation. I will do everything in my power to postpone any potential conflict until at least then.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Then we haven't a moment to waste.
We should begin by investigating the Watchtower that was attacked.
That sounds like a good place to start.
Thank you. Really, I appreciate it more than you know.
It's no big deal, honestly. I agree with Elisa. We're classmates after all, and more than that, we're friends.
Well, this is clearly of great importance to you.
I know you want to protect your people, but that's not the only reason you're doing this, is it?
You got me. It ties back into why I accepted the Lieutenant General's recommendation and entered the Academy too. I'm sure each of you feels the same about your own homes, but I love this land with all my heart. The wind racing across the highlands, the vast mountain peaks, the clear blue of the sky, the breathtaking beauty of the rising sun, the melancholy of the sunset, the twinkling of the stars in the twilight. I love everything about this land of Nord. It's part of who I am.
Wow. I guess it hadn't sunk in how much Nord means to you.
I'm certainly attached to Ruhr, but I can't think of anyone else who would state their love for their homeland so poetically.
If you love it so much, why did you leave it behind? If you truly love Nord, if Nord is such a part of you, what is it that drove you to enroll in a military academy in a foreign land so far away? I'm not surprised you'd find it strange. To be honest, I'm still not totally sure what compelled me to do it. Back when I was a kid, the Republican Army built a base in the Eastern Plains, and the Imperial Army responded in kind near Watchtower. It's made me more uneasy with every passing year. Years ago, a traveling priest from the Septian Church taught me all about the history of the continent. One thing that stood out to me was just how many lives have been lost during the conflicts between the major powers. Another major theme was just how profound of an impact the Orbital Revolution had on people's lives. Even the concepts of time and distance have changed so much. In effect, the Orbital Revolution shrunk the world. It made me realize a sad truth, one that kind of scares me even now. That there was no guarantee my homeland could stay at peace forever. That one day, it might be drawn into outsiders' conflicts, and be occupied and redistricted into oblivion.
I can't believe you were thinking about such weighty things even as a kid.
So then, you joined the Academy in order to learn more about the outside world that posed a threat to your homeland?
Yeah, something along those lines. When I realized how afraid I was, I knew I couldn't close my eyes. I wanted to do something, anything, to protect this land. As luck would have it, I met the Lieutenant General. He's the one who told me about Thor's military academy. One thing led to another, he offered me a recommendation, and before I knew it, I took him up on his offer. So there I was, green as grass, heading off to study abroad despite having no clue what life in the Empire was like. Thinking back on how it all came together, what you said is probably what I was thinking back then.
Honestly, I've yet to hear a student offer a more galvanizing reason than yours for enrolling at the academy.
I have to agree. I don't know too many people who love their home so much that they'd leave it behind to find a way to protect it.
It's not a sentiment I can imagine many Aragonians feeling, that's for sure. But I think I finally understand. Elisa? Well, just an idle thought. But having heard Gaius pour his heart out to us, there's no way we can just walk away from this. Not after the people of Nord gave us such a warm welcome and treated us like family. Indeed, I couldn't have asked for more.
Agreed. We'll get to the bottom of what's going on here and stop war from breaking out.
Nord may not be our home, but it's still an important neighbor. I'll do what I can to aid you.
Thanks, all of you. Really, thank you.
You can see the shell damage everywhere. It's even worse than I feared. They've confirmed casualties too. I didn't think I'd ever have to see anything like this. As students at a military academy, things like this are always within the realm of possibility. Although I hardly expected my first sight of such devastation to be a spark that ignites war with Calvert. This may be too much for students like us to handle. No, we've all been in situations like that looked impossible before, haven't we? And every time we've come through. We just have to calm down and think. I'm sure we can do something here too. You're right. True, we can focus on doing what we can. Whatever we decide to do, we need to get a better grasp of the situation. Yeah, let's find who's in charge and get their permission to start an investigation. I see. If Lieutenant General Vander has given you his permission, I see no reason to refuse. Thank you. However, I want to make it clear that the armed conflict with Calvert could begin at any moment. We've got our hands full staying on guard for any potential threats from the east. I'll permit you to speak with the soldiers here, but don't get in the way of them doing their duties. Understood. Okay, let's get started. We should start by speaking with soldiers and assessing the damage. That seems wise, but when we've gathered all the information we need, we can start piecing it together. Right, let's go. Alright, so we've got many different spots to check. Huh? Is this? What's up, Elisa? Is there something unusual about that scrap of metal? I knew it. This is a mortar shell manufactured by the Reinford Company. Are you sure? Yeah, I've seen them before on the assembly line. There are only a couple models capable of firing this kind of shell. That would suggest that the mortar used to fire, it was also made by the Reinford Company. But if we assume that's true, it seems like much less likely that the Republic was responsible. True. Why would the Republican army use a weapon made in the Empire? It doesn't make much sense to me. If we can account for deception, it seems unlikely that Calvert would go this far to conceal their involvement. Though, considering the stakes, we can't entirely rule out the possibility. Still, this might prove to be an important clue in solving this mystery. Alright, next up would be talking to this guy. Roan, why did you go and die on me? Sats. He seems pretty down. Can't say I don't understand how he feels, though. It was right when the shifts changed. Roan came out to relieve me, and I was chattering away with him like always. That's when the first shell hit us. Must have been around 3 in the morning. So it started at 3 then. Right in the middle of the night. I was on the lookout. I should have noticed something was off, but that explosion completely took me by surprise. I was so sure nothing would ever happen out here that when something actually did, I was totally useless. If I'd just paid a bit more attention, if I'd been a better soldier, Rowan might still be here with us now. It's not your fault. None of us could have predicted that something like this would happen. You can hardly blame yourself for a lack of vigilance after being stationed in a peaceful area like this for so long. They attacked in the dead of night, knowing your guard would be down. I wonder if it really was the Republican army doing it after all. We need more information before we can say for sure. No, I don't think it was them. There was something else that happened before we came under attack. We heard an explosion coming from the Republican army's base. When we looked, we saw smoke pouring out of it. What? We knew that both bases were attacked, but did both bases really happen around the same? Both attacks really happen around the same time? If that's so, it's unlikely that either army was responsible. Who is responsible then? We should keep this in mind as we piece things together. Alright, let's look out here. This is awful. It really is. It looks like they got hit hard. And to think there were casualties. You know the Imperial army isn't going to sit and twiddle their thumbs after suffering an attack like this. They have their image to uphold after all. Hey, looks like most of the damage is concentrated on the south side of the building. You think whoever carried out the attack could have done it from the Highlands? It seems very likely. Oh, but where on the plains could they launch an attack like that from? Well, the Highlands are incredibly vast. We'd need some kind of clue to even know where to start looking. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to find something here that'll point us to the right direction. How's the situation with the Republican army? Looks like they're really hustling over there. We've confirmed a number of armored vehicles entering and exiting the area. We've heard their base got hit pretty badly too. And even from over here, it sure looks that way. The Lieutenant General said that the Republicans' base got hit at least as hard as the Watchtower, if not harder. But we believe they were responsible for that as well. They need an excuse to attack us, and that sure as hell looks like one. Do you really think it's true? That much damage seems awfully excessive. They probably just got overzealous with the explosives. Doesn't make much difference either way. If they're brazen enough to attack us, we'll blow them back across the border. Soldiers here all seem to have their doubts, but without any hard evidence, we're not going to be able to convince them of anything. We should really consider the possibility that this was a deliberate act of sabotage by Calvert's forces. I think that's all the info we can gather here. I think so too. Now, we need to analyze what we've learned. First, we should establish a good picture of what was happening when the attack occurred. That seems like the best place to start. So first of all, what time did the actual attack on the Watchtower happen? It was 3 a.m. Yes, that's what the guard told us. But that wasn't all that was going on then. That's right, the Republicans' army's base also came under attack. And according to the Lieutenant General, they suffered even greater damage than what happened here. I think we can safely discount the possibility that the Republican army bombed their own forces then. And there's no evidence that the Imperial army launched an attack either. All we know is that both attacks happened and both sides took heavy damage. However, as Elisa said, we have no evidence to suggest that either side was responsible. If we accept that as a fact, the most likely scenario is that the responsibility lies with another party entirely. So you think a third party is working behind the scenes to provoke both countries into starting a war? Tensions between the Empire and the Republic are always high, but compared to the other areas of similar political value, the Nord Highlands has always been peaceful. I can conceive of no reason either country would have decided to break that peace last night. I agree. If anything, it seems that the negatives would have outweighed the positives for both parties. If this were Crossbell, it might be a different story, but here... Now that you mention it, we found something else odd about the attack on the Watchtower, didn't we? Something that seems to point towards a third party's involvement. Something else odd about the attack on the Watchtower. I'll bet she's referring to this. You're talking about the Motars used for the attack, right? Exactly. It looks like the orbital Motars used in the attack were an old Rhineford model. And I, for one, find it pretty unlikely that the Republican army is packing Erebonian-made weapons. Indeed, they would have little reason to be, considering the Republic has its own major orbital technology manufacturer. The Verne Company, as I recall. Yeah, the Verne Company is responsible for manufacturing most of the arms used by the Republican Army. Then there's the fact that the Motar used here is old. The Imperial Army hasn't used this model for years. I've heard that that military surplus sometimes makes its way onto the black market and ends up in the hands of mercenaries. Knowing that, it seems unlikely that either army chose to use it to cover their tracks. Quite. However, there is a far more pressing question to be asked. What do you mean? I know where you're going. We need to know where the attack was launched from in the first place. That's going to be difficult to work out. But without that vital detail, all our speculation thus far is for naught. If we intend to avert a war, we need more than speculation. We need conclusive evidence. Agreed. But the Highlands are far too vast to just strike out searching blindly, especially when the Lieutenant General's deadline rapidly approaching. Actually, we may not have to start our search blind. If Elisa and Gaius will lend me a hand, I may be able to help. Huh? What do you have in mind? If I can factor the location of the damage together with the speed and trajectory of the Motar shells, and then take into account the Highlands winds, I may be able to estimate the area from which the Motar was fired, or potentially anyway. Are you serious? Sounds easier said than done. I'll do what I can. Are you familiar with the specifics of the shell that was used? I think so. It's an old model, but I should be able to give you some rough data. That should be plenty. Anyway, let's have another look at those damaged areas and start our calculations. Please come with me, everyone. Right. Alright, I think I've calculated a rough location. I believe the Motar was fired from a location in the south of here. Using the map as a reference point, it means it was likely launched from somewhere in this area. And according to my calculations, the launch site shouldn't be too far from here. Wow, I can't believe you managed to work that out. That's well beyond the levels of mathematics we covered in class. I'll enjoy watching Rugnitz really sweat it out trying to best you at our next midterm. Just an applied physics. I couldn't have done it without Elisa and Gaius' help. It looks like we've got a nice big piece of the puzzle right in our hands. Sure seems like it. Let's take off and start looking. Right. Alright, let's start looking for where the Motar was actually fired from. What if what Emma calculated is correct? It should have been fired from a point south of the Watchtower. And most likely from a point that's easy to overlook, so it's not found out. Let's see if we can find anywhere that fits that description. We'll likely need to rely on the map to help us. I wonder if the culprit could still be there. Regardless, we should do what we can. We should see what we can find. Alright, so the main area we are going to want to look for, if you look at our map, is literally right down in that area. Seems easy enough. Just right over here.
Yeah.
Hey, over there. You found something? What's a rope ladder doing all the way up here? I can hardly believe its presence here to be a mere chance. Do the people of Nord use this area for anything? Not that I know of. This just got that much more suspicious then. Perhaps the mortar was fired from somewhere up there? It definitely seems worth a look. I'm just not sure how we're gonna get up there. We can't reach that rope ladder from down here. I see no way to climb up the cliff face itself either. If you have any suggestions, now would be a fine time. I believe I have an idea. What if we were able to make use of Elisa's old bow? My bow? How? Well, if you were able to hit the cord that's tying the rope ladder, perhaps it would unroll itself, allowing us to climb up. I'm glad you think I'm that good of a shot, but I really don't see it working. It was just a thought. Well, it's not like we have any better ideas. Why not give it a try? True enough, and time is one resource we don't have much of right now. Searching for some manner of tool to pull it down will cost us precious time as well. I can't really argue with that. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh, wait, what? It actually worked? You seem to have have the makings of a great hunter. It seems this is a day for lucky shots. You'll have to start calling her quick draw Elisa. Was I imagining things, or did that arrow glow for a second? Well, now that we can reach the ladder, why don't we have a look at the top of the cliff? Yeah, let's see what's up there. There. Exactly the smoking gun we were looking for, too. Well, well. Old Orbital Motars. All Reinford models, too. And it looks like they've been used recently. So this is where they were hiding them. I can see why they chose this place. Who would think to look here? They must have fled the area after firing them last night, leaving the launchers where they were. But unfortunately, these alone do not furnish enough evidence to avert the war. You're right, unfortunately. If we just had a bit more evidence. This still is a solid step forward for our investigation. Perhaps we should turn to Zender Gate and let the Lieutenant General know. That sounds like a good idea. Alright, let's go report. There. Isn't that... It's that flying object we saw fleeing the Arroch's fort near Bareahard. There's no mistaking something that strange, and it looks like it's carrying something. It can't be a coincidence that they'd show up now of all times. They're heading northwest, and we're going after them. Right. Saddle up. We have to chase and find the floating silver object before time runs out. This is a time where I will turn turbo mode off, as it actually works against us. Partly because we need to get there in 2 minutes, and...
We can't let them get away!
Or actually, maybe it doesn't work against us. I thought it is. There is some moments where it actually does work against us, but for now, however,
Crap, they're fast.
we pretty much just have to get there in 2
Just don't lose
minutes.
sight of
That's
them.
pretty much our goal. And our goal is over there at the stone circle. So we just need to work our way over here. Try not to get stuck on anything. We don't have to worry about any enemies.
Down near the stone circle? There's no escape for them now.
Whoa!
Alright, we've caught up. Let's deal with them. I definitely saw them land around here. I can sense someone up ahead. Really? Yeah, I'm betting that's the thing we're chasing. Ah, so our quarry is finally within reach. I think it was carrying a young girl. Well, we'll find out what we're dealing with soon enough. There they are. She really does look like a child. And what is that silver construct with her? Save the speculation for later. We need to capture them before they escape.
I think that about covers everything. Now, what to do? It'd be easy enough to overpower them, but there's a good chance some of them would get away. But just killing them all seems really cruel, too.
Halt! Stay where you are!
Ooh, it's the military academy students.
She knows about us?
How?
Just who are you?
And what's that thing beside you?
So, who are you? Were you involved with the attacks on the Watchtower and the Republican Army's base?
We'd rather not accuse you of a crime you didn't commit. But can you at least tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Aw, how did I end up being the bad guy? This is gonna make things a bit sticky. Oh, I know what I can do! Everything will go hunky-dory if you guys help me out.
What?
What are you talking about? But first, I hope you won't mind if I give you a little test, just to be sure you're up to the challenge.
Is that a challenge?
I'm Milliam Orion. And this is Eric Getlam, but you can just call him Lammy for short. Okay, let's get started! Let's get started!
Alright, we are fighting Milliam. Yup, we are fighting a girl. Okay, so starting off, I'm gonna go ahead and just have Elisa do, take a shot. We're gonna go ahead and have Emma analyze. Okay, she's level 30. A mysterious girl gives orders to the silver combat puppet with her, overpowering foes with powerful strikes. Alright, well, we got nothing to worry about. Though I guess I need to get Gaius's stuff up. Oh yeah, that's right. Elisa has her S-craft now. Let's go ahead and show that.
This is my special Lammy! Thanks!
Alright, I guess Reen can do his. Well, actually, you know what? This kind of shows that she can guard, so this is actually... I don't want to actually do that. There we go. Now I can attack her.
It's my turn!
Alright, let's go ahead and do Ethereal Edge.
It's my turn.
I guess just keep attacking her at this point.
It's my turn! Guess I let my guard down. That takes care of them! Wow! You guys are pretty tough! Yep, looks like you'll be great for the job, alright!
We've had quite enough of your wild chases and your games.
You were the one who attacked both of those military facilities, weren't you? Oh, no, that wasn't me! Ugh, what can I say to make you believe me?
Just tell us what you can. Anything you know that might help us find out who was actually responsible.
You said you wanted our help? If helping you would restore peace to the Highlands, we're ready to help out however we can. But you have to talk to us. Help us understand what's happening.
Come on, you two.
I hope you don't come to regret your naivete.
You said your name was Milliam, right? We really don't have much time. So could you tell us what it is you want our help with?
Well, what I want you to help me with is capturing the small armed group responsible for attacking the Watchtower and the Republican Army's base. What did you just say? You saw those mortars earlier, right? There's a bunch more hidden near the Republican Army's base. I'm guessing it was the same group that set them up at both locations.
Wait.
Do you have any idea who this armed group might be?
Well, I'm not 100% sure or anything. But they look like a bunch of Jaeger dropouts, so I'm guessing they're working for a pretty meaty chunk of Mira. I was on my way to go find out for sure.
Wait, then...
You know where they are?
Sure do. They're up in the north of the Highlands. If you promise to help me out, I'd be happy to show you the way. So, how about it?
Alright, you have our aid. I'm Reen Schwarzer, Thor's Military Academy, Class 7.
Gaius Wurzel.
I'm Elisa Reinford. It's, nice to meet you.
My name is Emma Milstein. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Eustace Alberea. And just so you know, you still have much to answer for regarding your intrusion into Auroch's fort.
You knew that was us, huh? It'd be super cool if we could just, put that whole thing behind us for the time being.
If we must.
Now.
Nice to meet you all, too. Anyway, what are we just hanging around here for? Let's make for the north of the Highlands.
All right. But I'd like to swing by the settlement first.
Yeah, we should use their telephone to report back to Zendergate about everything we found out so far.
Okay, let's get going then. Oh, yeah. Are you going to be riding on the back of your... thing?
Well, I could. But I think I'm gonna ride on the back of your horse instead.
Wait, what?
Lammy!
Whoa! It vanished.
And the way it did so seems familiar somehow.
Come on, are we going or not? Let's go catch us some big bad wannabe Jaegers!
Alright. We can head back to, we can now head back to the settlement, which...
Woohoo! This is amazing!
If you keep squirming around back there, you're gonna fall off.
You know what's kind of funny? Oh, there it is. There's the cutoff. A Republican Army airship? What's it doing this deep in the Highlands? This is what they call invasive reconnaissance, or something like that, right? They basically trespass with just enough force to see what the enemy's up to and how many troops they've got. So that's their aim. Just who are you? It's a secret. Anyway, don't you guys need to get a hold of Zendergate? Ugh, she's right. Let's move. Alright. Bro, you're all safe. Domo, I'm so glad you're okay. We saw a Republican airship flying overhead. Yeah, it's been circling up here for a while now. Is there really going to be a war? We're doing everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen. We need to hurry and borrow the Elder's telephone.
So you have reason to believe that the armed group is hiding in the Northern Highlands? Yeah, seems like that's what's going on. We're currently on our way to investigate. I suppose all our hopes are pinned on this. Very well, I'm extending your deadline to 1500. Be on your guard. Will do.
Please, do whatever you can to postpone any conflict.
So the culprit used to be members of the Jaeger groups? I've heard the term mentioned before, but I know little of them. Well, they're trouble, that's for sure. Let us handle this. We're not going to let anyone start a war here. It appears that even if I wish to sway you, your mind is already made up. Let me see if I can get this phone to pick up the orbital waves of your Arcus units. Now, you give me a call if anything happens.
Thank you, Grandfather.
May the winds and the goddess guide you. I'll be praying for your safety.
Let's jam!
Okay, we're counting on you to show us the way.
Where in the Northern Highlands are they hiding anyway? Oh, I think you probably know the place. You know, that huge statue north of here? There's a creepy old ruin around back. That's where they're all holed up.
Alright, and next time on The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel, we're gonna take care of a few small things and then head towards those ancient ruins. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure you give it a like. It truly helps out a ton. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys all later.